What's going on, guys, and welcome back to F1 2021, my team career mode for Season 3, round number 12, I believe, the Japanese Grand Prix. Now, first of all, I want to say sorry for not uploading in, I think it's like over a week, it's like 9 or 10 days. This is hopefully going up on Thursday the 10th, so yeah, it's been at least 9 days, I think, over a week since I last uploaded. I do apologise for that. The main reason really is that we actually got a puppy last Friday, and I've been home all week. But yeah, looking after a puppy, it's been puppy every day, every minute of every day. So I haven't really had the time or the need, I suppose, the effort to make videos. So we're going to try and get back into the swing of things again. So here we go. I'm going to have to change the gearbox one time early here because that's what went on the car last time in Monza. And then we have a big thing here. Morning, boss. I just got the word that Daniel is planning to retire from the sport in the near future. I know, came as a shock to me too. There's nothing we can do about it. So I recommend we get to the driver market ASAP to start looking for potential replacements. So Daniel Ricciardo, our teammate, is going to be retiring at the end of this season. That's something I've never seen before. Your own teammate deciding to retire while he's in your team. And then also we've got a little bit of a thing about next year's regulations as well. So it looks like there will be some changes into next year, which is always good to see. I like having the regulations mix up a little bit. We actually moved back up to the top of the pecking order with Mercedes actually just about taking over Red Bull. Ferrari and McLaren also right there on top of each other, so it's still very close at the top. AlphaTauri and Alpine still battling it out for kind of that best of the rest position and the bottom of the points potentially. Now, as we get started into this one, you may remember from last time, Japan, Suzuka. It's a track that I really like, but it's not one that I'm particularly quick around. Kind of like Silverstone, I guess, in that respect. Although I think I like Suzuka more than I like Silverstone, but I'm really not very good. Mainly this first sector. I'm very poor around this first sector. And, I mean, you're seeing the whole Q1 lap here because I only did Q1, not because I didn't get through to Q2, because I actually did get through to Q2, but with the gearbox penalty, and I also changed out the internal combustion engine because that was up over 55% as well. So I had a 20 place grid penalty going into this race. So I thought there's no point. I might as well. I'm not gonna, wear out components more. So we will be starting from the back of the grid. I just thought I want to get at least a lap in, a good lap in Q1. So that's what we did. I just didn't run in Q2 at all. But also one thing that I noticed here is that well, they've changed the game a little bit with how the AI difficulty works. So before, you couldn't change the AI difficulty as soon as you went into a practice session at all. You could not change the AI difficulty until the race weekend was over. You can now do it in between qualifying and the race. So I think for future videos, I'm gonna change the AI difficulty between the quali and the race, because my quali pace, as you can see here, P16, my quali pace is never there. So if I put the qualifying AI difficulty down and then the race difficulty up, hopefully we'll have some better racing in the future. Let's see how we go here today.
Welcome along then to the magnificent Suzuka International circuit, a stone's throw away from Issa Bay in the beautiful Japanese countryside. What surprises lie in wait for us today in the Japanese Grand Prix? We're southwest of the city of Nagoya today at the unique figure-of-8 Suzuka circuit. 3.6 miles and 18 corners make up a lap here, with average speeds approaching 136 miles per hour. DRS will be available, of course, into the potential passing opportunity at turn 1, although the best place for overtaking will be through 130R and into the final chicane. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Why don't we discuss McLaren? What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. It's Sergio Perez on pole position today, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Hamilton, Lando Norris, and Giovinazzi, Ricciardo, Sainz, Gasly, and Guan Yu Zhou, Tsunoda, Lundgaard, Sebastian Vettel and Stroll, Bottas, Fernando Alonso, George Russell, and Nicholas Latifi, Mick Schumacher, Mazepin, Ocon, and Shaw. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Alright, so we're down in P22, dead last place, and we're starting alongside Esteban Ocon, who also has a grid penalty here. We're the only two, it looks like, to have a grid penalty, at least massive grid penalties that put us right down the back, but we are underway. We get a good start on Ocon. He's on the medium tyres. We're all on the softs here. We have a little look at Latifi into turn 1, but we can't quite do anything at the moment. Mazepin is now alongside him. Latifi's just about managed to make his way past, so now we're stuck behind the Haas, a car that we definitely do not want to be stuck behind. I mean, my pace of this track is not great, as you saw in qualifying, but it is a little bit better in the race here. I didn't change the difficulty in the race here because this is probably about the difficulty level that I need the race to be at. It's just qualifying that's always the issue. I can't qualify up the front, so hopefully for the next round and onwards we can qualify up the front more, like where we should be, and also have some good racing too. As we go for a dive up the inside of Nikita Mazepin into the hairpin, we're right there and he's just about hanging out on the outside, but we get the power down better and we've just got a much better car than the Haas that we get the position, but we're only up into P20 at the moment. We're not making as much progress as I would have liked, as now Nicholas Latifi, the car up ahead in the Alfa Romeo, we're going to get right up behind him here and try and get as much slipstream as we can from the Canadian, and we're going to go around the outside coming up to 130R. We've got the move done before getting through to this corner, and now it's Mick Schumacher in the other Haas. We're going to have a big dive up the outside, but it's a very late on the brakes, a bit too late, and we have to take a little bit of avoiding action onto the curb there. Make sure we don't interfere with Schumacher, as now Latifi's having a little bit of a look back up at us there. Ocon has also managed to get past Mazepin and is now going for a move on Latifi, as we're going for a move now on Mick Schumacher. We get him before turn 1. We're now up into P18 after the first lap, so not the best start I could have hoped for. I was hoping for maybe a little bit more, but it's not terrible. A few little overtakes there and we're doing alright, as now George Russell is the next one to go for in the other Alfa Romeo. I really feel bad for George Russell because he just very rarely seems to get into a good team, at least in my career modes. He never really gets himself into a good team, and Alfa Romeo is worse than Williams at the moment, so yeah, really unfortunate for him, but we managed to get past him quite easily here. I don't know, maybe next season we may see about getting George Russell on the team. We'll see how that goes and what happens as we continue on here with someone. I think this is Giovinazzi or Sergio Perez, and there's a big crash in front of him. That's one of the Mercedes crashing into the back of, I believe that's Max Verstappen there, as he has to go over the curb. So that's a big crash for the Mercedes. This is Max Verstappen's point of view here as he goes through, and he gets a puncture on the front right, just like Lewis Hamilton in Monza last time out. There's a puncture for Max Verstappen and he gets smacked into the back of by its one and only Lewis Hamilton, who comes smashing into the back of Max Verstappen here. Just so unfortunate for him, but just gets massively caught out, and Verstappen kind of merges into the middle of the track, and really unfortunate for Hamilton there. I think he could have avoided that, but yeah, unfortunate for him. He's out of the race. Verstappen will carry on, but he's had to come into the pits for a tyre change because, yeah, just got a puncture. Couldn't really tell what for, just randomly going down the straight there, and just managed to somehow pick up a puncture for some reason. So that's pretty unfortunate for him, but I mean, he's not necessarily out of this because with the safety car he's not going to lose as much time as expected. I decided not to come into the pits here because I thought if I come into the pits I'm either going to have to go into a 2-stop or I'm going to have to go into a 1-stop on the set of hards. But at the moment my team's saying we can do a 1-stop on the mediums, and the team doesn't tell me to come in, so there's still a few laps to go until we will be coming in for the medium. So I decide to stay out, and at the end of lap number 7 onto lap 8 we go racing once again. We're now in P10 because a lot of cars in front of us did come in to the pits, most of them doing a 2-stop, those top 10 runners. I think there might have been a couple of other guys come in to do the 1-stop onto the hard tyres as well. But we continue on here. We've actually got Fernando Alonso in the Williams up ahead of us, our teammate from last season, and that Williams is still a decent car, but it's not as quick as it was at the start of the season. They were well fighting in the mid-pack, but now they've kind of slowed off a bit, and Aston Martin have kind of pulled away from them. Speaking of Aston Martin, Lance Stroll would be the next car up ahead, and we're getting a good run on him, but we're not going to quite go for a move into turn 1 there. I thought about it, but I thought, no, that can end up quite badly if we get that wrong into that corner. So we're not quite going to go for it. We're going to try and move elsewhere, but actually on lap number 11, Stroll comes into the pits, and we're going to get the position from him, but he has come into the pits, and we're now actually up into P1. We're in first place because we're pretty much the only car, I think, now to not have come into the pits yet. And we continue on here. We've got now Daniel Ricciardo right behind us here, and we're going to let him pass a bit sneakily there so that he gets past. We try not to lose too much time for him, but we're going to try and keep Verstappen behind us, because Verstappen now has managed to get all the way up into P3 here. So he's now in P3, fighting with Ricciardo over their position. So honestly, don't think he's lost as much time as you'd have thought from that whole ordeal. But yeah, it's now actually a 1-2 for our team, but we are coming in on this lap. Ricciardo's on a 2-stop, so he will have to come in again, but I think he's still going to have the speed over us, as Verstappen is going for a move into 130. I kind of let off to let him go, but he didn't really go for it, and ended up with a really awkward side-by-side moment. Verstappen locks up into the final chicane, but he still manages to keep ahead. He's on brand new soft tyres. We're on soft tyres that are pretty worn out by this point, and at the end of lap number 12, we're into the pits for our one and only pit stop onto a set of brand new medium yellow wall tyres, and these are going to take us to the end of the race. I don't know if changing to the hards in the safety car would have been the better option, but I'm pretty happy with this option. I knew I was never going to be fighting for a podium or the lead or even top 5 in this race, so I think we've got a decent potential to get points here, but yeah, it's going to be quite a difficult thing as we come through here. Gasly has just come out of the pits, and we actually have a little look, see if we can get past him when he's on those cold tyres. Our tyres have had a lap to warm up, but not quite at the moment. Gasly will keep the position, and through this SS section here, it's the part of the track that I am weak around, and we can't quite do anything. As just ahead as well, Pierre Gasly right here is on the back of Max Verstappen now, because Max Verstappen trying to get past one of the Haas cars. I'm not 100% sure which one that is. I believe that's Mazepin, because I don't see a green helmet, and Verstappen's going for the move on Nikita Mazepin. Pierre Gasly has a little look too. It almost ends up 3 wide actually, but he can't quite do anything at the moment, and this is helping us out because we are racing with Gasly, and Verstappen, but Verstappen is on a 2-stop, Gasly is on a 3-stop, so Verstappen's already, I think, done his last stop and is ahead of us, so we've got no chance of fighting him, but we are going to fight Pierre Gasly into turn 1, 2 wide going into turn 1 here, and we've just about managed to get the position. Thankfully, Mazepin and Verstappen holding him up has meant that we've managed to make the move on Pierre Gasly right there. As further up the road, we have a battle of 2 previous teammates from many years ago. Well, I say many, a few years ago at this point here. It's Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris, with Lando Norris currently in front here, and I think he's actually in 2nd place. So, yeah, these guys doing pretty well here. Norris hasn't been on the podium for quite a while, I don't believe. Sainz also, I think, only been on the podium once this season. He's been having a terrible season here. He's actually on the hard tyre, so I'm not sure. I didn't see what Lando was on, but it looks like Sainz is on the hard tyre, so it looks like he might have gone for that one-stop strategy with the safety car coming out. So pretty interesting to see how that works there. It seems to be working out for them at the moment. As we continue on here, we're now in P8, and we've got Pierre Gasly behind us, but he's putting up a pretty good fight. That AlphaTauri is getting better and better, and Gasly is just performing as he always does in that car. And yeah, we're just having to defend for our life at the moment. As ahead of us, we've got this big train of cars here. You've got Verstappen at the back of it. You've then got Ricciardo in front. You've got, I believe it's Guan Yu Zhou in the Mercedes in front of them. And then Yuki Tsunoda in 4th place at the moment there. So Yuki Tsunoda doing a great job in the other AlphaTauri. He's beating his teammate of Gasly quite considerably at the moment actually. So yeah, looking for a good finish for Tsunoda here. Currently P4, we're in P8, Gasly his teammate P9, and actually Sergio Perez, I don't know if he's had a bit of a mix up in the pits. He did start on pole position. It looks like he has gone for the 2-stop because he's on a set of mediums here, and I'm guessing went soft medium, but he's gone from pole position at the start of this race to P10, and he's right on the back of myself and Gasly now. He's going to be quite a lot quicker, but going to see if we can fend him off. As we continue on here, we've got Charles Leclerc, who also has not had a very good time here. I don't know what's happened with the front two, because Leclerc, started on pole position, and Leclerc started, Sainz started on pole position, Leclerc, not Sainz, what's his name? Perez, that's his name. Perez started on pole position, Leclerc started in P2, and yeah, like I said, Perez P10, Leclerc, I believe, like P12 at the moment, P13, P12, so don't know what's happened to those guys. They're both, well, either out of the points or right on the edge of it, so yeah, not good for those two guys there who started on the front row. As we continue on here with this battle for P4, Tsunoda still managing to be in the lead over Guan Yu Zhou, Ricciardo and Verstappen, so he's doing a phenomenal job here in the AlphaTauri. I mean, we haven't seen the best racing, the best results from Tsunoda. Gasly has fairly firmly beaten him so far this season, but at the moment he is well ahead of his teammate and doing a great job holding off cars that are quite a lot quicker than him, and drivers that have been in the sport a lot longer as well, apart from Guan Yu Zhou, of course. But yeah, he's doing a great job. Onto the last lap here, and we're still defending from Gasly and from Perez. Perez just can't seem to find his way past Pierre Gasly, and that is helping us out massively, because, you know, if Perez gets past, Gasly quite likely to get past. We ran a little bit wide through this corner here, but yeah, we're just kind of having to keep these guys behind us now to finish in P8, which I think is going to be a pretty decent finish here. I think without the safety car, we would have been probably struggling to get points, but the safety car helped us out a little bit, I suppose. Didn't change our strategy at all, but I think it did help us out maybe a little bit. And yeah, we're going to come through. We're going to defend from Gasly and from Perez. We're going to come through to finish P8 in the Japanese Grand Prix. I think after starting P22, that is a decent enough effort there. But I'm definitely looking forward to the next round, where we can actually change up the AR difficulty a bit, have better qualifying, have a better race, and yeah, hopefully for the rest of the season and the rest of this career mode, we'll have some better racing.
That's it then for another fantastic Grand Prix here in Japan. A brilliant victory that has thoroughly earned the applause from the sellout crowd here today. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
Well, they played the safety car to absolute perfection. There are so many factors to worry about once the race is neutralised. I mean, do you pit for fresh rubber? Do you have the space behind you? How much fuel can you save? If you answer all of those questions correctly, you'll have a good chance. And that's exactly what happened today.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team.
So Antonio Giovinazzi wins the Japanese Grand Prix. It's his second win in Formula 1 and his second of this season as well. So Giovinazzi currently doing a pretty damn good job, I must say. Lando Norris is back on the podium in P3, and it's awesome to see Carlos Sainz up there in, Lando Norris P2. It's awesome to see Sainz there in P3 as well. He's been deserved a podium for a while now, but has had some mega bad luck. So, yeah, good to see him up there. Latifi, Hamilton, and Lance Stroll all retiring from this session, so not great for them. And in the driver standings, Antonio Giovinazzi now leads the championship by 14 points to Max Verstappen in second. Perez drops from first to third. So yeah, big changes up there. Ricciardo still fifth, Norris in sixth, myself still down there in seventh. Guan Yu Zhou moves up to 10th. Yuki Tsunoda also moves up to, I think that's 13th there as well. And then in the constructors standings, Red Bull still at the top there. They're doing a very good job at the moment, and McLaren also doing a great job there in second. We're still down in third, and we're losing quite a lot of ground. I think it's going to take quite a bit to fall down to Ferrari, so I think we're fairly safe with third in the constructors championship. But we can push back to the top, but it's going to be a bit of a feat to get back above Red Bull and McLaren. So that's going to be the rest. Hopefully with this, change of the AI difficulty and everything, we might be able to bring it back a little bit this end of this season. So it's not all over yet, but yeah, it's going to be fun. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.